What's up guys, Shade Tree Surgeon here over at FNA Customs. We haven't done a video with Eric in a while, and if you guys are unfamiliar with Eric from FNA, he's a builder here in the Tampa area, actually out of Lakeland. World famous, so a lot of you guys already know about him. I'll have all his Instagram stuff linked down below, and we've done a bunch of videos with him before. You guys might remember the 3-cylinder 2-stroke H2 chopper.
There it is, man.
The Ironhead Glam Ferry Sportster chopper that he built. It's like one of those illusions that when you go around the other side, it looks like something crazy. Like, you look at it from here, you can barely tell it's a motorcycle until you move over here and you're like, what in the fuck? Absolutely insane videos. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you know about them. But one of the most requested bikes that everybody wants to see is the Rat Rod BMW that he built. Actually, one of his oldest builds. He told me he built this thing 8 years ago. So let's take a peek at it today. I guarantee you have never seen a BMW like this. I mean, everything from this leaf spring front end. What is that's a girder front end? Is that what that's called?
No, just a leaf spring front end.
It's a leaf spring front end. This looks like something off an old board tracker or something. And you made all this.
I made that. That was the first custom frame I did. The whole frame.
This whole front end frame.
Well, the front end and the
so this whole frame is custom.
Frame that I did the whole thing, you know.
Oh my God! So this is literally the beginning. This is FNA.
Yeah, pretty much. This is the start. This is what people, you know, got people's attention.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's very attention getting. So yeah, this thing is
unique. Changed the shaft drive. The shaft drive came out of this and went back to the rear hub, but this goes into a differential with a small ring and pinion and then goes over to a chain drive, and then this is the rear brake here.
So let's wrap our head around this real quick. Because Eric just explained it, but I'm going to try to say it a little slower for all you folks at home. He fabricated and put a small, what's the differential off of?
Off of an ATV.
It's an ATV differential that comes out of the shaft drive on the back of this BMW and then kicks over to the other side and makes it a chain drive. What? How the hell do you even think of that, dude? Like what? That's what gets me is like, who does that? Like who does that? Who looks at this and goes like, you know what would be a good idea?
It has been done before, but not very many people do that.
Oh man!
And this is actually, it looks like two sprockets, and those are two sprockets like face to face, And this chain has pins, you know, that go all the way across, so that's what couples it together. So it lets it kind of flex. And I had it rigid, but it kept busting the splines, and I put that on it, and it's been riding for years with that thing.
That's 2 sprockets with chains with pins that go all the way through.
Right, all the way.
And that's I thought that was just for show.
No, it's a they call it a chain coupling.
Never seen anything like that in my life. That's wild.
It's an industrial part.
And then these carburetors, again, not the stock Bings, I don't think.
No, those were Volkswagen Webers. The same ones that were I put on the Glam Ferry. I put them on here first and got these working, and they run real good on there. So
I love it. It just, especially the profile it creates when you look directly at the bike. That's what's so cool to me, is those 2 carburetors just sticking up like they stick up like stacks on a diesel or something like that. I mean, this bike should have been in Mad Max. This has got Mad Max Fury Road written all over it. This thing is absolutely wild. And the cool thing about Rat Rods is you don't ever have to clean it. Have you ever cleaned this motorcycle?
No, it just pretty much gets rustier.
It builds what we like to call a patina. And it does have a kickstart. Eric told me that he's working on a magneto setup or wants to work on a magneto setup for this bike anyway.
Eventually, yeah, we'll get something going.
So this is probably one of the very few bikes you've ever built that has an electric starter.
It is, yeah, definitely. But again, this was 8 years ago, so
yeah.
It's not as, you know.
No,
didn't have as much shit figured out then.
That's actually pretty comforting, Eric.
So
to hear you, of all people, to hear you say at one point you didn't have shit figured out should be an inspiration to everybody else, including myself, who would like to one day even approach being on the level that you've gotten to when it comes to building motorcycles, and not just building motorcycles, but it's the uniqueness. Anybody can throw together a pile of parts from a catalog. In fact, that's what I plan on doing with some of my builds. But it takes a completely different mindset to sit down and say, you know what, I'm going to make something that's so different and bizarre and off the wall and 100% just form over function, but it still functions. And that's crazy too. Here's the whole thing. Anybody can make a crazy looking bike. Anybody can make a big old pile of parts that looks absolutely insane. The difference between what Eric does, especially with this bike, is it's not just a pile of parts. This bike runs. This bike runs and it rides. Eric rode it here.
It's just, just ride it. It's one of the most reliable bikes I've got.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, it's got that BMW Boxer. What's an R100 engine?
75.
R75?
750cc.
This bike runs and rides, and we're about to prove it. Oh, man, okay.
Hopefully it'll start.
Yeah. All right, so yes, this thing runs, and we're about to prove it. Doesn't look like it will, but there you go, man. Absolutely wild to see that thing moving. Oh, crazy. See, that's what I love about Eric. These bikes get ridden. These ain't showpieces. They're bikes that you can pick up and ride at any point. That is just wild. It just looks insane moving, like it shouldn't be able to. But there it goes. You rode this thing to Miami? Dude.
It took a little while.
I bet. Did you do it solo, or were you with like a group of people?
Me and my friend Josh from Fat America.
That's got to be kind of like a...
Well, what sucked, it took so long because he had literally a 1-gallon tank and a 1200 Buell motor with a massive 42.
Oh my God. So what did he get, like 40, 50 miles or something?
Yeah, that was it. But luckily it was handy. It had the fuel pump because you could just unplug it, turn it on, and it'll just pump it out.
Only you.
And then,
only you, man.
It took us about 8 hours.
That's got to be like such an adventure, though. Yeah. It's like an adventure to be able to, like, I moved myself on this all the way to Miami. Like, that's cool. Anything I should know besides that? Obviously, it's a very long hardtail motorcycle. And where's the starter?
Right there on the key.
Oh. That's fucking cool. All right. This is going to be what it's like to ride around probably the craziest looking thing with two wheels that I've ever been on. Oh man, that was not a pretty pull away. That's for sure. Oh my God! Eric rode this thing to Miami. Holy mackerel. Well, all right, second attempt. My GoPro died the first time, but Eric has been gracious enough to actually let me ride this motorcycle, which hopefully isn't a bad idea. Although I'm going to back it up and try to leave a little more gracefully than I did last time. I have a feeling it didn't exactly look like a ballerina pulling out of here. How cool is this? You know how you start this bike? Oh no. But there's a lot of people out there that never even knew BMWs had Kickstarters, period. Fucking absolutely insane that this thing can actually move me down the road. What the hell? Oh my God. This thing is crazy. I can't believe I'm actually riding this bike. I can't believe that this motorcycle is actually moving me down the road under its own power. You look at it and everything in your brain tells you, much like an airplane or a bumblebee, you're like, nah, that thing shouldn't be able to move. There's no way. But here's the proof. Here we go, moving down the road. And actually really well, too. I mean, it's just a smooth running motorcycle. It is a BMW, so the BMW, I think it's the R75, he said. These engines are phenomenal. They run forever. But not even a cough or a hiccup. Here we go. Fucking moving, boy. Damn, look at this thing. This is so cool. This is so freaking cool. It's just gonna be me gushing about this thing the whole time. Oh man, what kind of mind does it take to build a motorcycle like this? To build something that looks this insane, yet but you can still ride it. That's what gets me. You can still ride it. Oh man. The front end reminds me of like a board tracker or something like that, like some sort of old school like circle track racer. You guys know which one I'm talking about. It's just so industrial and wild, and it moves. That's the thing. That's why I make these videos with Eric, and one of the reasons I really enjoy him as a builder is that you see all these custom bikes, but when you see really, really wild customs, you almost never see them moving. They're showpieces. And Eric's bikes, they're definitely showpieces, don't get me wrong, but they're much more than that. He doesn't build bikes to just sit around and be looked at. All his bikes are dirty. You go over to Eric's shop, and even his award-winning showpieces like the Glam Fairy and all these crazy bikes, they're dirty. They've got road grime and oil on them because these bikes get ridden. I just really love that. And maybe you're of the mind, like, why would you ever build something so impractical? Why would you have a motorcycle that looks this crazy? I mean, look at this thing with these carbs right next to my feet and the way he's got the drive system set up. I'm going to take this corner real gingerly, but maybe you're just going like, why? I don't get it. I don't understand why you would build something that's so impractical but still moves down the road. And if you don't get it,
I'm not sure I'm going to be able to explain it to you. But in my mind, motorcycles are cool. You know why I first started riding motorcycles? Because they're fucking cool. And maybe you didn't. Maybe you're motorcycle Jesus and you're just the pure love of the sport and everything like that. But you know what? I'm just being honest. And I first started riding bikes because I went, you know what? Motorcycles look really fucking cool. And when I got old enough to get my first motorcycle, I found out it's the truth. Motorcycles are cool. And this is kind of a progression of that, is how do I make the craziest, wildest, most bizarre looking two-wheeled piece of machinery that can still move down the road under its own power? And I will tell you, this bike right here, the R75 rat bike, post-apocalyptic nightmare fuel, this thing will probably go down as one of the craziest, coolest bikes I've ever thrown a leg over. I just can't freaking believe it. Thank you, Eric, for letting me ride this thing. How cool.